and welcome back. Welcome back to our final qualifying match of the night. The final best of 5 to round it out to end this challenger bracket, to find out who makes it into the OSC Championships and who will have to try again tomorrow. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkione, we have our red Polish Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue French player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is DnS. Here we go. This is where it all ends. This is where it all does come down. PvP between MaNa and DnS. Let's go. Now, if you're in the chat, predictions are open. You can place your bets on how you think this series did unfold. Again, these matches were actually played while we were casting some of the previous qualifying matches, while we were casting MindoVK versus Fiant. Matches did unfold, but we are here to bear witness for the first time. And we do see a double gate opener here from DnS. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of MaNa. Everything is looking as it should. So far, standard openers between our players. There we go. So we have a Cybercore on the way. Probes are being sent out, though. MaNa going to be scouring the edge of the map. DnS coming in for the scout. MaNa confirming that the second pylon has been thrown down in the main. Likewise, second pylon from MaNa also in the main base as well. Oh, but the third pylon, hello! MaNa throws it down in the center of the map, and this is a prime location for a proxy robo, not gonna lie. We'll see if we commit to a robo or a Stargate. Stargate would just be for economic damage. Robo is to commit. There it is. Robo is on the way. Hey, it's a PvP. I'm ready for a fast. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, we've been live for 9.5 hours. 100% with a best of 5 of reaching the 10-hour mark. Hopefully not more than that. You know, I'd like to get to bed at some point. You know? It'd be nice. It'd be nice. It's 8 a.m., Poppy. It's 8 a.m. Let's go. As for now, you have that Stargate opener from DnS. Is going to be for an Oracle first. Meanwhile, the robo well underway. DnS on the hunt, though. He's looking, he's scouting. Adept does move out. And DnS will not come across it. But the robo barely does hold on here. Immortal is on the way. MaNa going to be doubling down here with the one base all in. We are pushing, we are committed. And DnS has yet to piece it together. Adept has been found out. We're going to be threatening a shade. This is going to be a big scout here for DnS. Oh, never mind. As the Adept goes down, and DnS, he didn't get in. I don't believe he saw the lack of expansion. DnS has no idea what's going on. He didn't go for a sentry-based opener either. Went for the Adept instead, and the Adept did fail him. And now he has to rely on the Oracle. Meanwhile, Immortals are amassing. Immortals are amassing here on the front lines. MaNa moving out with his Stalkers. DnS is here to try to catch anything at all. We do have a safety shield battery in the mineral line against to defend against Oracles. And here we go. Now we realize what's been happening. The push is upon us, and can DnS hold on to his natural? I'm not too sure. The Oracle turns back around. Immortal has arrived. Yeah, the Adepts say shaded. Oh, God. Looks like we had a bit of a pause at some point here. Mentioned before, these games were played at the same time as Fiant versus Mindo, and here we go. We're diving on in. Second Immortal has arrived. Pylon going to be focused down. Good use of these Oracles, though. We do focus down one of those Stalkers, and we're going for the Immortal. Do we have the DPS for it? It looks like... Oh, we barely do. One Immortal goes down. The Stalker as well. We're down to a single Immortal remaining here for MaNa. And it looks like DnS, he will hold, he will shut this down. Again, I wasn't sure about using the Oracles defensively, but we shut down both Immortals in the end, and MaNa doesn't have much left. He does have Stalkers, does have a Prism on the way, but no more Immortals. Ooh, big overextension from DnS. big overextension. He does have to back off. Boys are being pulled. Oof. And even without Immortals, MaNa has too much, but here comes a Void Ray. We have a backup Immortal on the way. Stalkers are amassing. We don't have Blink, but we can juggle with that War Prism. And Prismatic Alignment is activated. We're going to be able to force this back. The double Oracle getting into the main base. Do we have anything to defend? We do have a Shield Battery and a Stalker. We are in position. Void Ray comes forward, but it gets targeted down. MaNa, he is breaking through. Shield Battery does finish just in time. We have the Overcharge. Do you have the Overcharge to hold on? The Oracles, they get 4 probe kills. MaNa has no expansion. His economy is going to be crippled. But he has an army. That's all that matters. He has that Immortal. We can try to focus it down. Good juggling. And MaNa, he has too much. He is breaking through. We have another backup Void Ray on the way, but it's going to be too little too late. As MaNa takes control of the natural base, takes control of the low ground. Just down the final Stalker. Again, MaNa, he has too much. Initially, DnS was almost holding, but almost not enough here as we shut down the Artosis pylon. Boys are being pulled. Immortal arrives. We have too much. You see DnS trying desperately to hold on here across now. He is killing a lot of work. Oh my god. He's getting a lot of damage done, but GG gets called. It's not going to be enough, and MaNa will take game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Initially, again, DnS had a very impressive hold with his Oracles, able to focus down 2 Immortals and able to survive. But maybe sending his Oracles across the map wasn't the best play there. He had to barely hold on back at home. He needed desperately everything to survive, and alas, he just wasn't able to. MaNa was able to break through, and with that, GG. First game in the books. And now we're getting into game number 2 and talking a little bit about the players as we delve into this. DnS, of course, has been having an amazing year. DnS has been around for a very long time, but he did take a break. He took a hiatus. He kind of stepped away from StarCraft, but this year he has come back with a vengeance, and DnS very quickly found himself as the ace player on the Platinum Heroes for the summer season of WTL. Oh. It's okay. This is look, they were supposed to wait for us to cast live, but it's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. It's look, we cast it from replays. It's okay. It's like, yo, shout out to MaNa because he realized what was happening. It's okay. It's okay. And here we here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of a Golden Aura, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. Leading the series 1-0, it is MaNa. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue French player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is DnS. Here we go. Here we go. As once again, we have 2 gate openers from both players, both MaNa and DnS. MaNa coming in for a scout. DnS going to be hiding his probe and most likely hiding his second pylon. Is going to be a fake proxy pylon though from our blue Protoss. The probe is going to be scouring that main base. And there it is. A pylon is thrown down. Again, it is just a fake. It is just a way to try to lure MaNa in and try to play with some mind games. Force an overreaction if possible. But yes, originally, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. DnS moving out. Trying to get a read on the opener. Does confirm the lack of expansion for the time being. Does pull back. And so far, we're going to be going for a Stalker Sentry opener from DnS. We have double Stalker from MaNa. Again, MaNa isn't certain if there's an all-in or not, so going for double Stalker makes plenty of sense, just to make sure we have some extra DPS here early on.
Your probes are under attack.
Meanwhile, Sentry has arrived for that hallucination scout. And MaNa, I'm sure, is now aware that everything is looking as it should. There we go, we have our tech of choice, Stargate. Going to be a Stargate opener out of MaNa. With this, we can gain access to faster oracles to get across the map. Ooh, but it looks like he's still not fully convinced. He's fanning out his stalkers. He's looking for the proxy pylon. Looking for potentially a proxy Stargate. We can see that DnS is just expanding. And he's just chilling, taking his natural base. MaNa, though, still unconvinced. Making sure everything is as it should be. And here comes that hallucination from DnS. At least they remembered. Yeah, look, they remembered. You know, it's okay. It's fine. Look, regardless, we were gonna cost everything anyway. It's fine, Bobby. It's fine. Yeah, that's what I mean. It doesn't matter anyway, because we costed all the matches anyway. It's all good. Yeah. As behind this, DnS is going to be going for a Twilight Council. Again, went for a faster expansion. DnS will be slightly ahead in the economy here, ahead when it comes to the blink timing as well. But here comes the Oracle. There's potential for damage. Stalker is going to be pressuring that natural base. We have the Oracle behind it as well. Yeah, the Stalker is going to try and pull away the attention of DnS, but he is in position. And the Oracle can do no damage here. Going for the stasis. Ooh, but it is going to be denied. At the same time, good control here on the front lines as we do take down the sentry. MaNa pushing forward. Snipes the sentry, but not much else as he does pull back. MaNa not losing any units so far. Lost a probe, but nothing else. Good control coming in from behind, gets a probe. Every unit does count. Behind this, ooh, MaNa going for a bit of a gateway explosion. That is a third and fourth gateway. Get a lot of gateways this early on. MaNa, I'm curious. Do we set up a proxy pylon? Are we going to be pushing here on two bases? DnS behind this, just trying to settle. Oh my god, going straight for a third. So we have MaNa going for production. We have DnS going for greed. Very fast third base. Robo behind this, I imagine, for immortal production. Here comes the proxy pylon. MaNa's pushing. MaNa is committing here to two base play. And DnS doesn't know. He hasn't seen the gateway, still in the dark. He does have some sentries for hallucinations, but he hasn't sent them out yet. Uh-oh. Here we go. MaNa is pushing. He's expanding behind his push, but aggression nonetheless. Looking at the army size here, pretty comparable army sizes, but MaNa can soon reinforce. 4 stalkers at a time. Here we go, looking to wedge his way in between the bases. Going all the way in, actually. Oh my god, the dive is real. We dive on top of the army. There we go. 2 stalkers going to be going down. The sentries as well. Big pickoffs. As MaNa will pull back. Pulls back to reinforcements. And again, MaNa does have the stalker advantage. Immortal is still on the way. So do get into the mineral line. Again, behind this, we do have additional units on the way. Additional stalkers coming in from behind. Their probe's going to be going down. The Oracle goes ham. We have additional stalkers as well. So far, a good trade here from MaNa, but he may have overstayed his welcome. Ooh, big stasis trap. Catches another stalker. Really good control here out of MaNa. Does rotate over, takes out a shield battery. Oh, not quite. The shield battery does go down. Good control out of MaNa. Immortal going to be focusing down more of those Stalkers. Oh my god, the Immortal going ham. We're going to try to focus it down. We do get the Immortal, but this is going to be a costly trade here for MaNa. At the same time, the Oracle comes in once again into the mineral line. 5, 6, 7 probes going down. Crippling the economy. MaNa, he is up 10 workers. He may have had a later expansion, but up in workers, up in economy. DnS is pushing. But how the turns do table. DnS has double the Stalker count of MaNa. MaNa was a little bit wasteful with his Stalkers, a little bit wasteful with his units. And this counterattack is actually terrifying. There's no shield battery. There is no shield battery, no charge either. MaNa, he may have poked the bear a little bit too much. This DnS, he has arrived. Oracle going to be going down. No shield battery, no overcharge. They're going for a big warping of Zealots. Charge is about to finish. We're 10 seconds away. Really nice micro here from DnS. Again, ace player for Platinum Gears for a reason. And he will take down every single one of those Zealots. Going for a big warping behind this. Zealots are on the way. We have a Dark Shrine in production for DnS. Does DnS have enough? He's going to pull back. MaNa, he holds onto his expansion, holds onto his base. DnS will be retreating. He's still down in workers, by the way. Still down in probes. The longer this goes on, the worse it will be here for DnS. There is still a lot of pressure on him. Dark Templar could be a really good way to come back. It could be. As we are pushing in. Oh, Stalker's out of position. He was expecting to dive into the main. Zealot's going to be going down. Immortal has arrived, but we're running out of reinforcements, running out of Zealots. Prism goes in. But we are in position. MaNa going to be able to zone that Prism away. The Immortal looking so exposed. Only a handful of Zealots protecting it. There's the overcharge. Keeping the Immortal alive. But DnS, he was able to trade well. He now takes a worker lead. Dark Shrine is done. Where are the Dark Templar, though? Still nowhere to be seen. MaNa's going for a Zealot counterattack. 4th base is on the way, but DnS is up in army supply. Shuts down the base, shuts down the Nexus. Zealot runway does come in. Prism denied into the main. Do we have any observers? We do. Okay. MaNa does have an observer. Zealots, they get a couple of workers. Speaking of, oh, there we go. 7 workers do go down. I was wondering, like, where are the DTs? They did sip in. Oh my god. Did I say 7? 14 probes go down. There was 1 in the main. There was 1 at the 3rd base. MaNa now suddenly with a massive worker deficit. And we're not done with those Dark Templar, by the way. We warp in a bit of everything. Sentry, Dark Templar, and a Zealot. And yeah, MaNa's all in. It's all or nothing with this counterattack. Gateways are being depowered. This 4th base looking exposed. MaNa does have a pretty terrifying army. Uh-oh. Here he's diving on these Stalkers, pushing on through. Charger stuck behind the Stalkers. Here we go. We have a massive warp in. DnS, he has a better concave, and yeah, GG gets called. He will hold. He will survive. And DnS will tie up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. The Dark Templar, they kind of forced the all-in there out of MaNa, but even before the Dark Templar, even before that, DnS was doing a great job at catching back up in that game, trading well, and of course, evening things up. GG. Let's go. Finally, some solid PvP, even though it's 50% liquid. Oh, God. What do you mean? We've already had plenty of Protoss today. It's been good. A lot of aggression. Very little mid-game, actually. Out of all these PvPs. Very little mid-game. It's all about early game aggression. And here we go. We're getting into game number 3 to determine who takes the lead in this series. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have our red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have its opponent. We have the blue Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes. It is DnS. Yeah, the sentry warped into the main base was perplexing, but it's fine. I do think that was a misclick, 100%. No reason to warp in that sentry, but regardless. Like, even like force fielding the ramp against Blink Stalkers, that's not really, doesn't really achieve too much. Regardless, DnS was able to hold it, was able to survive, and now we find ourselves in game 3. Here we go. Now we are going to be loading into Hard Lead, a much more aggressive map, has a very short rush distance by ground. We've already seen plenty of one-base all-ins so far. I mean, I say plenty. We saw MaNa go for a one-base all-in earlier. So we'll see how things do turn out this time. These probes are going to be advancing. MaNa going to be skirting the edge of the map here, taking control of the Zelnaga. Oh, MaNa looking like he's going to be the one to throw down the fake proxy pylon, and there it is. Pylon is thrown down. DnS is going to be scouting, is going to be checking. He's going to recognize, hold up, your pylon is missing. And again, because MaNa already all-in game number 1, it is going to be in the back of DnS's mind, especially after DnS took game number 2. So we'll see if he does overreact. See if he can piece it together. It'll be double Stalker out of MaNa, double Stalker out of DnS. Second pylon from DnS is in the mineral line. Is scouted, is confirmed. Third pylon hidden in the main, which is a little bit suspect. MaNa doesn't see it. He goes down to the low ground, doesn't see the pylon here either. And there we go, Robo. MaNa gonna be deceived a little bit here, believing that the third pylon is maybe gonna be a proxy. So there we go. Robo, third gateway, one base all in out of MaNa. Not proxied, but it is all here back at home. It's going to be for Immortal production, for War Prism, for a mass amount of Stalkers. DnS is expanding, MaNa is not. So once again, MaNa is going to be taking the more aggressive role in this PvP. DnS is going for a Twilight Council, but DnS needs to scout. He needs to get a read on what's going on. Show us the hallucination. As we need a little bit more time. I'm loving this positioning as well for MaNa. This is primed to shut down the hallucination scout. Oh. Again, very common for the hallucination to go straight for the natural. Speaking of DnS, he sends it right to the natural base. MaNa's in position, and MaNa will deny the scouts. Big moment here. Oh, does survive though. Oh my god. DnS barely pulls back in time, pivots around, and now he does get a scout off. Doesn't see much though. He does, yeah, he goes for a second hallucination. DnS, he is denied entry into the natural. He doesn't see the main, doesn't know what's going on, is still not aware of the all-in. We have to spend more energy on a second hallucination. Behind this, where's the shield battery? Uh-oh. We get eyes on the Robo, the gateway, the lack of expansion. Shield battery just now gets thrown down, but it's so late. 3 shield batteries. Big reaction here out of DnS, but MaNa has already arrived. He's already here. Boys are being pulled. The DnS being a little bit too greedy. Again, unfortunate that he did miss the scout as well. Good positioning out of MaNa. Good juggling. Boys are going down one after the other. 12 workers fall. Shield batteries are finishing. We do have an overcharge. we may just have too much DPS. MaNa trying to force the issue here. Yeah, powering through that shield battery. GG gets called. MaNa has too much. He snowballs out of control and takes game number 3. GG. GG, well played. Again, DnS, it took him just a little bit too long. A little bit too long to realize what was happening. A little bit too long to realize how committed MaNa was. And with that, MaNa is now 1 game away from qualifying for the OSC Championship. DnS, he has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. The pressure is on. See in the chat. Proxy versus proxy. What a game. Everyone is a winner. True. True. Here we go. We're settling into game 4. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Equilibrium, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. 1 game away from qualifying for the OSC Championship. It is MaNa. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Equilibrium. I think this is the first time we're casting this map in the entire 10 hours of being live. The first time. We have the blue Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. He has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is DnS. Here we go. And the pressure is on. And yeah, we have been seeing a surprising lack of Equilibrium all night until now. So now we finally do experience it. We finally do see it. Gases are being taken. Going to be double gate opener here from MaNa. Likewise, double gate from DnS. Now, a big feature of Equilibrium, of course, is the gold. We do have gold bases that are available here for both players. In mirror matchups, they can be quite potent, quite tempting. You can even try and take your own opponent's gold base. Possible. Here we go. Probes are moving out. Both players are going to be scouting each other, and so far both players do have their pylons where they should be. For the first time, can we get like a standard back and forth PvP? Is that happening? Is that possible? Nah. We'll see. And again, can we resist this the temptation of the gold? No shot, man. No shot. So we go. Two gate openers all around. Double stalker opener from both players. Both players also confirm that the pylons are where they should be. They're in each other's bases. It's either being as annoying as possible. DnS even going for a pylon block here on the low ground, but should eventually be able to expand as the stalkers have arrived. Oh, they even allow the pylon to finish. We're just getting some secure damage here. We have our tech of choice once again. DnS going for a Twilight Council opener. More often than not, we have seen Blink Stalker based play here from DnS. Oh. Going for a third gateway as well. Okay, Bobby. We are going to be quite aggressive. We are getting ready to push, getting ready to move out. Meanwhile, MaNa going for his own Twilight Council, going for a faster expansion instead of going for that extra gateway. And this is a proxy pilot. Oh, we're going one base all in. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if we throw down a proxy gateway here towards the south. Blink is being chronoed. Stalkers are pushing. Again, DnS is pretty far behind in the economy at this point. He's committed. Does get on top of pylon. Yep, there it is. Fourth gateway. So it's going to be a one base, 4 gate blink all in from DnS. One way or another, the game will end. We will not get into the mid-game. It's PvP, Poppy. It's all about the all-ins. I'm here for it. So we do force a cancel. MaNa does recognize what's happening. I mean, Hallucination gets in. Yeah, he does see the third gateway. He sees the Twilight Council. He sees the lack of expansion. MaNa knows. Big scout. Big moment here for the Red Protoss. There we go. Shield by enemies. Dark Shrine on the way. Oh my god. I love this response. Again, there's no Robo. There's no Stargate. There's no way for DnS to get any detection. Dark Templar may just end the game if we can get that far. Now, bearing in mind that MaNa does not have a pylon out on the map, DnS going for the gold. There's no pylon on the map, which means we can only warp in defensively back at home, which means it may be spotted. Hallucination does, Hallucination. Force Field does catch a Stalker. Okay, we have the pylon on the high ground. I'm gonna try and sneak out a Dark Templar. Oh, we canceled. Wait, yeah, we canceled the fourth gateway. DnS. Okay, that's how we afforded the Nexus, of course. As soon as DnS saw that the natural waste was canceled, DnS he cancels his own fourth gateway, expands. But there it is. We're warping in that Dark Templar on the low ground. It is being snuck out. Likewise, at the same time we try to force our way down the ramp, we force out a force field. We do have a Robo on the way. Observers coming out. We will have detection. Dark Templar will not end the game. There was potential. It was. But we will have our answer. Meanwhile, MaNa going to be expanding, taking his own gold. Going to be maneuvering out. Oh, does not scout the pylon.
From the shadows.
But here we go. The DT does get in. There is detection, but it doesn't matter. Probes, they cannot fight this. Not on their own. 4 or 5 workers go down, and no reaction out of these Stalkers. DnS is still here at his gold. Oh, but he's going to be losing so much. I mean, DnS, he at least protects his mining base, but I can't say the same about the other. 8 probes go down, and we recall to safety. And just like that, MaNa takes an economic lead. Gonna be bleeding out some Stalkers. MaNa has to retreat. Does have to pull back. Getting his own gold up and running, and the game is gonna settle. The game is settling, but did I speak too soon? Because we have another Dark Shrine. Sorry, another Dark Templar whirling in. Do we have detection? We do. We do have an observer, but we are out of position, and we do get 4 more probe kills. Up. Can we get a 4th? Just 3. We get 3 worker kills is enough, and MaNa does have a 10 worker lead. Gonna be able to get his goal base up and running. Now, army-wise, DnS still has a slight edge. He has 1 more sentry, 1 more stalker, additional zealots. There we go, more reinforcements on the way. MaNa, he does come across. Oh god, does come across the proxy. Island has been scattered. Is shut down. Right, DnS going to be pushing here on the front lines, forcing the overcharge. We are going to be committing the concave in favor of DnS. But that overcharge keeping everything topped up, everything alive. MaNa, he's going to be able to break free. Going to try to at least. Can we have detection? The Dark Templar destroying away some fire. The Immortal has arrived. Uh-oh. The Immortal has arrived, and it's going to be able to just chew through so many of those Stalkers. DnS cannot fight this, not head on. It will pull back. Meanwhile, MaNa is getting his own 3rd up and running. DnS working on mass charge lots. So Blink Stalkers alongside Zealots as well. It's going to be building up. That's a lot of gateways. 4 more gates are on the way. It's going to be 7 in total. Meanwhile, MaNa just focusing on his economy. So DnS is going to be the aggressor, essentially. As, yeah, we're just doubling down. That's going to be a War Prism. War Prism is on the way. Seven gates in total. DnS still behind in the worker count. Still hasn't been able to resaturate. No third base in sight yet. DnS is going to have to commit. Meanwhile, MaNa, back at home. We have additional shield batteries on the way. Additional pylons as well. As long as he can fight within range of these shield batteries and overcharge, he should be okay. As long as he continues the immortal production. There we go. Second immortal's coming out. Now, Zealots will make things a little bit more complicated. Zealots, of course, they do a great job at soaking immortal hits. Here we are pushing. Army has been spotted. MaNa repositioning. War Prism is on the way. DnS a good angle here on top of the ramp. Yeah, good angle with the high ground. Is breaking through, does force the overcharge. And shield batteries are in position. MaNa is holding. But here comes that prism. Looking at the army sizes here. DnS has a slight Stalker lead, but he's down in Immortals. The Worker's going to be going down. At the same time, there's a DT across the map. Ooh, it's going to be 11 Worker kills. But the DT going ham here in the mineral line, getting 4 probes. The Prism goes down. A big snipe. At the same time, we dive on top of the Immortals. 1, 2 Immortals go down. And DnS, he may just have too much. He is breaking the gold. He's trying to. And desperately here. Once again, he did take down the mineral line. Stalker count is getting higher. Because we lost the War Prism, that means that DnS can't reinforce. The reinforcers, they take a long time to walk across the map. Oh, the DT finally gets cleaned up. DnS can focus on his push, but he is down to 30 probes. And again, he's still 2 base all in. Still doesn't have a third. Meanwhile, MaNa does. The longer this goes on, the better it is for MaNa. He's getting a large army, getting out of hand here, getting out of control. Dives on top of the army. Good blinks out of DnS, but again, he's just falling further and further behind. MaNa, he's up an entire base. He's up a base, and that's being reflected here in the Stalker counts. MaNa up 5 Stalkers. Sorry, 6 Stalkers. DnS still trying to recover. He was completely all in. And there's no transition here. I mean, DnS has no forge, no upgrades. +2 is now on the way for MaNa. It was all or nothing. And GG gets called up. We don't even get a final fight. GG, but he just saw the third. He just saw the fully saturated third base of MaNa, and that is it. There's no coming back from that. Not in a mirror matchup, and GG, MaNa will qualify for the OSC Season 11 Championship. GG, well played. It just clicked that. Again, DnS, he hadn't even seen that base. He didn't even know that MaNa had a third up and running until the end there, until that Zealot came in for the scout. With that, he knew that he was just too far behind. Far too behind there. There was no way for him to overcome an entire base mining compared to his opponent. It was just too far behind. GG, well played. Congratulations to MaNa, as he does make it. Is the final player to qualify here tonight. It was a brutal broadcast. Very little downtime. I was hoping for like an hour or 2 in between qualifiers. Did not happen. Did not happen, Papi. Oh my god. And with that, we have made it. We made it. We are done here. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We have our qualified players. We have Art, who took down Hydra 3-1. We have Young Yakov, who 3-0'd Akeron. We have MinuVK, who took down Fiant 3-2. And we have MaNa, who took down DnS 3-1 as well. And that was only the first qualifier. If you were here earlier today, a big shout out to yourself if you were here for the first qualifier, as I quickly switched the bracket over, and it was Baby Marine taking down Rex, Future taking down Battle B, and Battle B took down Rex as well. So we had three Terrans players qualify through bracket A. And through bracket B, we had some more Protoss representation, and Young Yakov repping the Zerg, of course. Whew. So, yeah, GG, well played. An amazing day of StarCraft here. Again, I was not expecting it to go on this long. Not at all. But, yeah, 10 hours. 10 hours. I was expecting like 6. I was like, you know, like a 3-hour cast, then a break, and then like another 3-hour cast. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. My throat is definitely a little bit worn out, and I'm gonna have to just not talk for the rest of the day because we have a long weekend ahead of us. A long weekend is ahead of us. World Team League WTL begins in how many hours? Let me just double check. Our next broadcast is going to be in 13 hours. In 13 hours time, we're going to be back. We're going to be live here on this channel with World Team League, with WTL, the playoffs of WTL Winter Day 1. Team Liquid versus Mystery Gaming, and the winner of that series up against Storm Gaming as well. So some really big matches are going on here in 13 hours. I'm going to try and sleep for 10 hours. I'll do my best. I say that just because there's a lot of casting going on. It isn't just WTL. After WTL, there is also the New Year's Cup. New Year's Cup is going to be at 2 a.m. my time, which is 4 hours after the start of WTL. It is an event organized and hosted by Hatsu. So we are going to be live casting that. Again, it is just a more fun event where everyone can come together and celebrate New Year's, of course. Oh boy, and then we get into the rest of the weekend. We have the KSL, we have WTL 3 days in a row, we have Masters Cup, we have Christmas Cup, we have GG, well played. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Thanks so much everyone for watching. I apologize for the game that was played earlier. I've already forgotten which one it was. It was a ZVT. Yeah, it was a ZVT between Young Yakov and Akeron. It was game number 2 of Young Yakov and Akeron. I do apologize for forgetting to switch the scenes and missing half the game. VODs will be fixed for that. I will make sure that I re-record that, and YouTube will hopefully be able to witness what you guys missed. So we'll have you covered there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. If you want to support the OSC, !OSC in the chat, and you get a link to the Indiegogo. Oh my god. The Indiegogo is here. And if you guys want to support this tournament, you can do so by contributing yourself. Again, the OSC Championships will run regardless. It will be run, it will be held. But if you want to help support this, if you want to help it grow, if you want to help it have like a boosted prize pool and have some extra goals here, you can see here like some extra prize money for 1st to 6th place. You can see that, you know, hoodies are given to the players. We have another boosted prize pool. We have show matches being set up as well. So there are ways here to support the tournament monetarily. Otherwise, if you just enjoyed the broadcast, if you enjoyed the content, consider following us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. We're all over the place. Consider following OSC, as OSC are quite active when it comes to organizing and hosting events on Twitter, on all the social medias. I'm just trying to find them on Twitter. We get there. There it is. OSC Esports. Link is in the chat if you guys want to follow them again for any updates. We don't castle the OSC events. Sometimes there are other casters. I believe Dave Tesla is casting the 4th qualifier. There's still two more qualifiers. 2 more qualifiers are coming tomorrow, and Dave Tesla will be casting one of them. I'm sure Chicken Man's going to get involved at some point, Wardy as well, and maybe some of these other community casters. Again, they usually are all over OSC events, so follow OSC on Twitter, and they will let you know where the next broadcast is and who is casting it as well. Not always here on the Ducklings. And again, we are live here on a daily basis. If you maybe are tuning in for the first time, if you haven't seen us before, Dzień dobry, welcome. Buenos dias. Here on the CranKy Ducklings, we've been casting for many years at this point. I think we started casting in 2017. And ever since 2020, we've been casting on a daily basis for many years at this point. Plenty of content here on Twitch and on YouTube. So if you want to follow us, you can do so over on our other platforms like YouTube and like Twitch. So plenty of VODs are available, plenty of StarCraft, plenty of matches, plenty of entertaining games. So check us out there if you wish. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. I'm gonna go get some food and then pass out, and then we'll see you in 13 hours for World Team League. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to Eddie in the chat as well. Eddie, of course, is the organizer, the CEO of OSC, and tonight's admin as well. So big shout out to Eddie. Without Eddie, this event would not be possible, would not be running. Eddie is very passionate and, of course, has been running StarCraft events for many, many years at this point. So big shout out to Eddie. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys next time in 13 hours for some more StarCraft. See you then. Hasta luego. Bye. Hasta luego.